And welcome back to another week of Pardon the Disruption. I'm your host, Weasel, and I'm joined by the Room Shakers as I am each and every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. And if you thought that today was all about Bills versus Rams, you're sadly mistaken, because this is the real matchup that we've been waiting for all week. I got my guys in the room. Let's go virtual left to right, starting with Steve Trang.
Steve Trang, real estate disruptors, sales trainer, and be on the lookout. We're going to be launching something next week that you guys may be interested in.
Ooh, okay, not may. You are going to be interested in. To his virtual right, we have RJ Bates.
How you doing, guys? RJ Bates the third, the king closer. I just like to throw that out there just to rub it in everyone's face. I've got my piece of titanium with me from Eric Brewer, and I'm excited to take back my title this week.
Let's go. Let's go.
We were talking about it before the show. He had to talk about that to get his mind off the cap smell he's got all over him right now.
And as he mentioned, we also have Eric Brewer in the building. Eric Brewer, what's going on?
What's up, everybody? Eric Brewer, real estate investor, been in the business since 2005. I am actively a turnkey wholesaler, fix and flipper, new construction, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and excited to be here this week with the rest of the fellas to dive in and do my best to make as much fun of Steve Trang as possible.
And last but certainly not least, we have last week's winner, CJ. What's going on, man?
You guys already muted him. This is
Nice.
awesome.
Can't hear CJ.
Like
Highlights.
Resident Pardon the Disruption champion. Pardon the Disruption resident champion here. It's good to be here, man. I'm excited for this week. Chris Jefferson, Richmond, Virginia. Do all things real estate. Most importantly, I run the U Charged Up University, man. Let's get into it.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. If you are new to the program, the way this works, we ask the panel a series of 5 different questions. They'll have each 45 seconds to state their argument on the question. Afterwards, we will open the voting for the YouTube chat. So if you're in the YouTube chat right now, make sure you get ready to vote and also submit questions throughout the program, as the last question will be a audience submitted question. So get those questions in, get ready to vote. With that being said, fellas, you ready? Question number 1.
Let's do it.
All right. We'll start with Steve Trang. Would you rather be wholesaling in September of 2021 or of 2022?
So I would say that for sure financially, September 2021 was way better than September 2022 is looking. But I am excited about the direction things are going, right? I think that we are actively removing our competition. Things seem to be a little less competitive these days. We have fewer people at the appointments. And thanks to, Eric's Brewer method, we're locking up contracts and we're getting more profitable deals at this exact moment. So I like the direction this is going. It's not as profitable this year as last year, but I see it's a lot more promising moving forward right now than it was this time last year.
All right, let's go over to CJ.
Yeah, I think right now, right? If you played the game right over the last couple of years and made a really strong cash grab, if you worked on your tool belt, if you figured out things like novations, how to do more creative finance, seller finance, sub-2, things of that nature, how to wholesale, I think right now is really kind of that prime opportunity to really be in the business. Is it less profitable than it was? Yes, but if you set things up, you really can create a unique opportunity right now, based on what's happening. So if I had a choice, being in the position I'm personally in right this moment, I would like things to be how they are and how they're continuing to go.
Okay, let's jump over to Eric Brewer.
Yeah, I think, if it was 1 year, it would be 2021, right? If I was only going to do the business for 1 year, it would be 2021. But the reality is no one's in this business for 1 year. Well, a lot of people are in it for 1 year, but it's because they weren't successful. But 2022, it's funny. I would run into people last year when the market was crazy. Go, oh my God, you're in real estate. You must be making a ton of money. I was like, well, yes, it's gotten really easy to sell. And when I do sell, stuff sells for a lot of money. But the last 2 years, it's been much more difficult to get a deal than it was forever. It was more difficult to get a lead and get a deal in 2021 than ever. It got really easy to sell. So I prefer to be able to have the skill set required to be successful in 2022, because that's a more sustainable business than you can run. You could have accidentally made money in 2021 and had zero skill. So I'd say 2022 because I want to do it for an extended period of time.
Okay. And RJ Bates, welcome back and bring us home.
Yeah, I like the fact that 3 of my competitors said they're less profitable in 2022 than they were in 2021. Things are trending good for me. I'm more profitable right now than I was in 2021. I personally think where we sit today, the skill set of closing and buying deeper makes you stand out from your competition. And so I would absolutely say 2022 because I think we were prepared for this moment. We have been working for years to gain the skill set and the systems and the processes that we have for what's happening today. So this is literally what we've been building up to for the past 3 or 4 years. I've been thinking that this was coming quicker. So I would say 2022.
Okay. The chat voting will open up right now. And gentlemen, the floor is open as well.
Yeah,
For the
when
record,
we said
Steve's
most
the only
profitable
guy
year,
that said
RJ
he
just
made
said-
less money. For the record.
CJ too.
Nah,
I didn't. Hold on,
I
say
didn't
I
hear
made less
that.
money. I didn't say I made
Steve's
less
the
money.
only guy. So
Yeah,
let's clear the air there.
I think RJ's counting online income. But that being said, all right. That being said, I think what's important, right, is the message that we're all really getting across. I think is you got to sharpen the sword. You can't wait till it's time to get into a fight to be ready to go. You know, we've all talked about how we've been working diligently over the last couple of years to be ready for this type of opportunity, for this moment. And I think that's really the message for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll be honest, right? Like, I haven't done a lot of creative deals. It's something we haven't had to get good at, right? And then last week or a week and a half ago, we locked up our first sub 2. I mean, we moved it pretty quickly, but like, we haven't had to use sub 2. We haven't had to discuss it or offer it. Now we have to, right? So completely against what Chris just said, but we're learning the skills now, actively applying the skills now that we didn't have in our tool belt because we didn't need it for the last 2-3 years.
But Steve, you may not have personally built the tools, right? But you've built the relationships.
Yes, absolutely.
And that goes a long way as well, right? Like, we don't all have to personally know how to do everything, but if we can create relationships that are unique, where we provide value in exchange to receive value, you can call Pace right now and say, Pace, I've got a sub 2 deal.
Right.
Like, hey, can we talk about this deal? That's the benefit of a relationship, which is important too, right? Like, the last couple of years, using it to build out really strong relationships and build a team of people around you has been really important as well.
I think it's interesting that, there's conversation about being more profitable in 2021. I know Eric said that Steve's the only one that said it. I heard it differently. But I feel like it's easier to get a wider margin, a larger margin on wholesale deals today because it's easier to explain why you're buying on a discount than it was in 2021. So I feel like it's easier to make more money now than it was a year ago.
I would say, just me personally, I mean, we've gone through multiple things in our market, in our business, but I think the big thing is I felt like just, everyone's a realtor in Phoenix. I think everyone's a wholesaler in Phoenix as well. So I think for us being in our backyard, it's been just a little bit more challenging, but we're having more conversations, more appointments on less marketing at this exact moment. So that's where I'm talking about.
The worst thing about 2021 was just frantic. Like, forget about the money for a second. It was just like, it was frantic, right? It was like, we all love when there's 37 offers on a property, but like, all you really need is 2 good ones. The other 35 just create more work. And then if you don't do the work to get back to those other 35 people, I saw it a lot. Realtors were like, you at least could have got back to me about my offer, blah, blah, blah. I think there was a lot of relationships that were lost or damaged in 2021 because of the frantic nature of the market. Forget about the money, forget about the deals. Everybody was running around like the building was on fire. And that's just, it's messy. It's messy, and messy is often in business or any relationship for that matter, not good.
Okay, the voting is still open right now.
How's it?
I'm sure you want us to. I'm not in control of closing the voting, Steve, so I do apologize. But it looks like you're slipping away with this one. And there it is. The results are in. Steve Trang with 42%.